So today we will talk about we'll discuss transformations of functions. So we have a library of functions that you should keep in your mind. X squared, radical x, this current function is x squared this one radical x, x cubed, cubic root of x, this is value of x. So we'll use these library functions. We'll apply certain transformation on these functions. So what are these transformations? We have three sets of transformation. Step number one, shifting upward and downward. Step number two, shifting to the right and to the left. Step number three, reflecting or reflection about x-axis and reflection about y-axis. These are the transformations that we're gonna use for today's class. So for example, I know the rule of this graph. But what about the rule of this? Shifting upward and downward. I call the parent function downward, right? So we have to apply the first set. Then maybe, what if I know that this is radical of x? What about this one? What's the rule of this function? Which is resulting by what? By shifting the original graph 2 units to the left. So what's the rule of this function? So we have to apply the second set. So this, I have to apply the set number 1. This is, I have to apply set number 2. Now, this is, I know this is y equals to x cubed. So what's the rule of this function? This function resulting by what? By reflecting the original function about x-axis or about y-axis. Some would argue about y-axis, yes, about x-axis or about y-axis. You see, this goes up, the reflection will go down. This goes down, the reflection will go up. Or maybe, one of you will say, this goes to the right, the reflection goes to the left. This goes to the left, then the reflection will go to the right, yes. So we have to apply set number 3 to introduce the rule for the pink curve. Okay, so let us start introducing these set of transformation rigorously. All right, let us introduce set number 1. How to shift upward and downward. If shifting upward, downward. So if the parent function the parent function is y equals to f of x, then what's the rule of what? Of the function if we shift the curve upward k units? Or what's the rule if we shift the graph k units downward? Then f of x plus k is the graph of the parent function shifted k units upward. So if you add a k to the parent function, you have to shift the parent function k units up. What about f of x minus k? It's the graph of the parent function shifted. Say this is minus k. F of x minus k is the parent function shifted k units downward. Okay, let me explain this point and I will allow you to copy. Just hold a second. So now let's say I have y equals to x squared. How to sketch y equals to x squared plus 2? How to sketch it? How to sketch y equals x squared plus 2? First, you have to what? To know what's the parent function. The parent function in this case, you choose what out of the five functions or 6 functions: x squared, x cubed, radical x, cubic root of x, and absolute value of x. So the parent function is clearly what? Y equals x squared. The parent function is what? I know the graph of this. Then, applying this rule, x squared plus 2. Just remember, this is the parent function, right? I have to what? To add a 2 outside the parent function. Adding 2 outside the parent function will push the graph k units upward. So I have to push this graph 2 units up. So what's the new graph in this case? I would copy the same graph, but pushing this graph 2 units up. So 1, 2. This is y equals to x squared plus 2. Okay, you can copy. What about absolute value of x minus 2? Minus 3. So go to the parent function. What's the parent function in this case? Out of the 5, the parent function is absolute value of x. This is the parent function. Now I have to subtract 3. But as you see, outside the parent function. So I have to shift the graph 3 units down. So starting with absolute value of x, then shift the graph 3 units. So this is absolute value of x. And shift this function 3 units down, which means you have to pull the graph 3 units down. One, two, three. This is absolute value of x minus 3. I'll answer the So what's the domain and the range of this what? Of the new function? Excellent. So all of you answer correctly, yes. The domain, in this case, from minus infinity to infinity. Why? Because you draw just vertical lines, and you see the domain from minus infinity to infinity. Now, if you draw horizontal lines, you see you will not intersect this curve until you reach y equals -3. So the range from -3 to infinity. Okay. You done? Now you see this, right? You see this screen. So let me give you also another exercise. So f of x equals to x cubed plus 1 is shifted three units down. The new of the resulting function is so I had to push x cubed plus 1 3 units down. What is the resulting equation? Excellent, yes. So this is the new rule. Why? Shifting this 3 units down means I have to subtract 3. So the new equation is x cubed plus 1 minus 3, which is x cubed minus 2. Now let us move to the second set of transformation, which is what? Which is the horizontal shifting. So the second set of shifting is what? Horizontal shifting, to the right or to the left. What I should do? How to produce such transformation? If f of x is the parent function, so we're done with the vertical shifting. Now we're talking about horizontal shifting. How to produce horizontal shifting. F of x, see what will happen? F of x minus k. So the change inside the function. So what does it mean? I replaced x with x minus k. I removed x and replaced it by x minus k. What's such function doing? This is the parent function shifted k units to the right. Little bit surprising, but minus goes to the right. Yes, minus k goes to the right. So I see an equation replaced in which x is replaced by x minus k. I should know that, horizontal shifting k units to the right was made. Of course, the second case is what? To the left, f of x plus k. So we replace, in this case, we replace x by x plus k. What's the effect? The effect that this term is the parent function shifted k units to the left. An example of this, like y equals to x minus 4 squared. You see, I took what? X out, replace it by what? X minus 4. What will happen in this case? See, I'm not changing outside the parent function. I'm changing inside the parent function. I'm changing the argument of what? Of the parent function. In this case, I have to shift the graph 4 units to the right. So this graph will look like this. This is y, This is x. 1, 2, 3, 4. And skip to the wheel. About the second case, for example, y equals to x plus 2q. The parent function is x cubed. I took x out, replace it by x plus 2. So I have to move 2 units to the left. And sketch the parent function. The parent function x cubed, I know it looks like this. So let us check. This is what? Horizontal or vertical shifting? It's what? Horizontal, yes. Horizontal, and in particular 3 units to the what? To the left. 3 units to the left means I have to replace x with x plus 3. Now I have to guess what's the parent function. The parent function, y equals to what? Radical x. Okay, so now apply this into the parent function. Replace each x with x plus 3. Means that the answer is y equals to radical x plus 3. Okay, just take this. So if f of x is resulting from shifting y equals absolute value of x plus 5, by shifting 3 units to the right, then f of x equals So 4 students answered D, 2 with C, B with 2 for D, and 1 for A. Let's check. So this function is f of x is resulting from what? From shifting this curve 3 units to the right. 3 units to the right means I have to replace x with what? I have to replace x with x 3 units to the right. So minus 3. So now replace each x with x minus 3. So take x and replace it with x minus 3. What's the final answer? X minus 3 plus 5 is what? X plus 2. So the answer is what? Is D. Of course, we can combine what the horizontal and vertical shifting. We can what? Apply the first shifting followed by another shifting. Like what? Like this one. So the sketch. Sketch I equals to cubic root of x plus 1 minus 3. The most important thing to know what's the parent function in this case. What's the parent function? What's the parent function? Go to the five functions that we introduced at the beginning. Which function I should use at the beginning? At step 0. Cubic root of x, yes. So this is the parent function. Y equals to cubic root of x. This is the parent function. So sketch the cubic root of x. X, y. So take it, locate the parent function in the last formula. You see, this is the parent function, but x is replaced by what? If you look to this, x is replaced by x plus 1, right? So we have to replace x by x plus 1 at the beginning. Then we have to add or to subtract 3 outside the parent function. So this one is what? Horizontal shifting. This is a vertical shifting. I know there is a horizontal shifting 1 unit to the left, and I know that there's shifting horizontally 3 units. I'm sorry, shifting vertically 3 units downward. Again, this is the parent function, right? And this is the location of the parent function in the final formula. If you see, the parent function is cubic root of x, not x plus 1. So this means that we replaced x by what? By x plus 1 to reduce this term, the one inside this circle. Which means if I replaced x with x plus 1, I have to shift the graph 1 unit to the left. So sketch now the same graph, but shifted 1 unit to the left. Then, so this graph, y equals to cubic root of x plus 1. After that, I have to what? You see, f of x minus 3. Of x minus 3 means I have to shift the graph, the resulting graph, 3 units down. So this is the final answer. This is x, this is y, minus 1. Then I have to go down 3 units. 1, 2, 3. So this vertex will be at this point. This is the desired function. Sorry. Sorry. Excellent. So most of you answered correctly, yes. So the answer is C. So you see, now the first step is to transform this 3 units to the left. 3 units to the left means I have to replace x with x plus 3. Okay, so now just replace x with x plus 3. So y equals to x plus 3 plus 2, which is absolute value of x plus 5. This, by the end of this step, I have this function, y equals absolute value of x plus 5, followed by, continue, followed by 4 units upward. 4 units upward, I have to add 4 to the resulting function. So add 4 to the resultant function. This will give us. All right, the last set number 3, reflection about x-axis and about y-axis. How to do this. So if of x is the parent function, then one minus of it. Just multiply the parent function by minus. What will happen if you multiply f of x by minus? This is the parent function reflected about x-axis. See the minus outside the parent function. So if I multiply a function by minus, this reflects the function about x-axis. I have to reflect a function about what? About y-axis. Multiply by minus, but inside the function, inside the parent function. So what does it mean? It means I have to replace x with minus x. If you replace x with minus x, this is the parent function reflected about y-axis. Like what? Like if you sketch minus x squared, y equals minus x squared. If you sketch y equals minus x squared, this minus is outside the parent function, right? Outside the parent function. Therefore, this is a reflection about x-axis. We have to reflect x squared about what? About x-axis. How to do that? So this is your x, your y. So y equals x squared going this way, right? Now imagine there's a mirror on x-axis. What you will see downstairs, you see this curve. Or simply, any branch going up, just reflect it down. Any branch going down, reflect it up. This is how to reflect a function about what? About x-axis. What about y-axis? For example, I have what? X plus 2. I can sketch x plus 2 from the previous class. I know how to sketch x plus 2. The line x plus 2 This is x plus 2, this graph. Now, how to reflect it about y-axis? What's the rule of the new function? Let's replace x with minus x. Remove x and replace by minus x. So we'll have 2 minus x, or minus x plus 2. Minus x this way, plus 2, exactly here. You see, it's a reflection of what, of the original function about what, about y-axis. If you have a mirror here, this part will be reflected as this. This part will be reflected as this. Or any branch to the right will go to the left, any branch to the left will go to the right. How do we reflect about y-axis? We just replaced x by minus x. Let us start with sketch. To sketch a graph. So how to sketch this graph? Y equals 3 minus absolute value of x. So now I have to what? To see where is the parent function. The parent function is what? In this case, it's not x squared, radical x, x cubed, cubic root of x. It's what? Absolute value of x. Absolute value of x is what is the parent function. This is the parent function. What happened to the parent function? What's the first step I should apply in this case? Of course, if it's not clear, you can move 3 to like this. I can do that? Yes, you can. So what is the parent function? This is the parent function. This one is the parent function. So what's the first step to do? Should I reflect or what? Or shifting Horizontal, vertical. To reflect first. I have to what to reflect. You see, the parent function is multiplied by minus, right? So I should start with this. Then adding 3. So first you have to what? To reflect absolute value of x about what? Y-axis or x-axis? This is what? This is the reflection about x-axis or y-axis? X-axis. Why? This is the parent function multiplied by minus outside. So I have to reflect this about x-axis. About x-axis, I draw it below x-axis. This is above, draw it below. So it will look like this. Then so I'm done with this. I'm done with this. After that, I have to add what? Add 3. Add 3 means up or to the up. Excellent. It's outside. Outside the resulting function. Outside, so I need to pull this graph 3 units up. So this is y equal to 3 minus absolute value of x, or minus absolute value of x plus 3. Yes, so most of you answered correctly, yes. It's C. Of course, the parent function is what? It's Q. Now, if you see the final version, it's not. The right branch is located on the left. The left branch is located to the right. So we have to reflect what? Reflect this curve. About y-axis or about x-axis? In fact, you can do either ways. You can go with the either ways. If you reflect it about x-axis or y-axis, you'll get the same answer. Right? The reflection about x-axis or about y-axis, the same. About y-axis, the right will go to the left, the left will go to the right. If you reflect it about x-axis, above x-axis will go down, the down will be above, the same. So if you apply this one or that one, correct. So let us apply reflection about x-axis. Therefore, this one, y equals to minus x cubed. Now, what's the relation between the green curve and the red curve? I will get the red curve out of the green curve. What I should do? I should move to the left 2 units. I have to shift the curve 2 units to the left. So I have to replace each x with x plus 2. This is exactly what C says. If you push this 2 units to the left, you'll get the desired curve. Okay, the last example for today. Let us go back to sketch. Sketch y to sketch this parabola. Y equals to 4 minus x plus 1, the whole thing squared. As you can see, the parent function in this case is what? Y equals to x squared. So go to the equation and find the parent function. The parent function is here. But in this equation, we had to replace each x with x plus 1. So the first step, I have to shift the graph, what? Horizontally or vertically? To produce this function, I have to shift the graph to the left 1 unit, right? So we go in 1 unit to the left to produce this graph. X plus 1, the whole thing squared. I have to go to the left 1 unit. After that, you see this 4, as I said at the beginning, you have to to take it, so you have to write the equation as this. So we got this, but I want to deal with the minus. So the next step to do what? No, before up, we have a minus. Reflection about what? About x-axis. We have to reflect this function. This one has to be reflected about what? About x-axis. Why? Because there's a minus before it. So, see this graph? You have to reflect it about x-axis. So this is x, this is y. I have to reflect this function. So you see the whole thing up above the x-axis. I have to make it below x-axis. So we're almost done. Now just shift the graph 4 units up. So this is the sketch for y equals to 4 minus x plus 1 squared. When you exercise, when you want to make sure that your graph is correct or not, go to this website. Maybe yes, you can see. Go to this website. wolframalpha.com. Just you can print sketch y equals to, what was the question? 4 minus x plus 1 squared. Here's the graph. Okay, so you can use this website, wolframalpha.com. And of course, you can use it for engineering, for chemistry, for physics. You can solve system of equations, quadratic equation, complicated equations. You can use this website for sciences and engineers, for engineering. All right, so we're done for today.